You know that feeling? You spend, like, hours meticulously customizing your resume for a role you found online. You hit submit, and then just total radio silence. Months later, that exact same job ad is still sitting there, completely active. It feels like throwing your hard work into a literal black hole, just a place where your effort goes to be completely forgotten.
Oh, it is incredibly maddening. And, looking at the stack of sources we have for today's deep dive, which includes labor market analyses and some really eye-opening reports from HR insiders, well, the data confirms you aren't imagining things.
Right, you're not crazy.
Exactly. So today's mission is to pull back the curtain on a corporate strategy called ghost jobs. Basically, active postings with absolutely zero intention of hiring.
It's basically corporate gaslighting, isn't it? Because as a job seeker, you assume a posted ad equals an open desk.
Yeah.
But going through these internal HR memos, I realized companies are essentially running a marketing campaign disguised as recruitment.
That's the perfect way to look at it, actually. The primary driver behind these ghost jobs is purely public relations. Market algorithms and investors look at job postings as a leading indicator of a company's health. So if a company stops posting, the market assumes they are stagnant.
Wait, stagnant? Like just sluggish or failing?
Right, like they've stopped growing entirely, and investors panic when they see that.
Okay, let's unpack this, because it reminds me of a struggling retail store slapping a massive, flashy, now expanding sign in a window just to mask the fact that they're secretly bankrupt.
Yes, exactly.
So the company is under a strict hiring freeze, meaning they have completely stopped recruiting to hoard cash, but they leave the digital ads running because posting on a job board is dirt cheap PR.
Yeah, and those job board algorithms reward continuous activity. The longer you keep that feed populated, the more impressions you get. So the company maintains the illusion of hypergrowth to the public and to investors without taking on a single dollar of actual payroll.
Wow. But that external illusion has to collide with the internal reality eventually, right? Because we know from the research that burnout is rampant. Teams are operating drastically understaffed.
Oh, absolutely.
If I'm an employee working 60-hour weeks and I see my own company constantly posting ads for new teammates who never seem to arrive, that has to breed resentment.
It does, but you've hit on the second major function of the ghost job, which is essentially an internal pacifier.
A pacifier, like
It
to
do-
calm them down.
Precisely. Management uses these active listings to pacify their own overworked staff. They point to the job board and say, hey, hold on, we're actively interviewing. Relief is just around the corner.
That is an incredibly cruel psychological trick. They save money by keeping the team small while actively deceiving their own staff. It delays an immediate mutiny because the team genuinely thinks help is coming.
Yeah, it creates a psychological buffer. The company buys itself another quarter of high productivity without increasing overhead simply by keeping a digital carrot dangling just out of reach.
Which brings us to the actual HR department. Because going through our notes on modern applicant tracking systems, I realized these recruiters aren't just sitting idle. So what are they getting out of this charade?
Well, they are actively hoarding these incoming resumes to build a massive talent pipeline.
A talent pipeline. So like a huge database of candidates.
Exactly. The digital infrastructure we have today makes data harvesting incredibly efficient. So if a key worker suddenly quits, HR doesn't have to start from scratch.
From the absolute beginning, right.
Right. They don't have to post a new ad and wait. They just pull from the pipeline of people who already applied to the ghost job.
But the dark side of that strategy is that HR is essentially keeping thousands of hopeful applicants on the hook, just waiting in agonizing suspense simply as a backup plan.
That's the reality. The paradigm shifts completely once you understand the mechanics. You aren't necessarily being rejected because your qualifications fell short. You are simply being collected.
Wow. The job board is functioning more like a data harvesting tool than an actual hiring platform.
Yeah, it really changes how you view the modern job hunt, doesn't it?
It really does. It's filled with these corporate mirages. And understanding the mechanics behind the talent pipelines and the PR signaling is the only way to realize what game is actually being played against you.
It saves you from internalizing the rejection. Recognizing that the vacancy might just be a ghost lets you redirect your energy toward companies that are actually putting human capital on their payroll.
Absolutely. And it leaves me with this final thought. If companies have entirely normalized posting fake jobs to manipulate the stock market and trick their own employees, what other standard corporate announcements are completely fabricated just to keep us compliant? Next time you watch your customized resume vanish into the corporate black hole, you have to wonder what else is just a ghost.